I'm giving myself a manicure and answering YouTube questions when I should be making flashcards for my last written test tomorrow. But I haven't studied at all. So, anyhow, it came to my attention that there's a lot of confusion with what happens on the day of boot camp graduation. How much time you're going to get with your loved ones if they're in boot camp right now, or if you're going to boot camp and you don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. It depends on where your A school is. If your A school is across the street at Great Lakes, then yes, your family can bring things like your cell phone or laptop or whatever, because when you graduate at boot camp, I honestly don't remember what time it was we graduated. It was before noon that we got done, and we got to have Liberty with our family. So we had to go back to the compartment and get little Liberty cards, which are just basically like, think of a hall pass, you know. You have to get a little Liberty card so you can walk around town. You can go wherever in town you want to go. There's a mile radius you can't go past, but nobody really has time to go that far anyhow. But you get your Liberty card and you can take off with your family, everyone, whoever. If your A school is here, there, wherever, across the moon, wherever, you will have Liberty time that day with your family. Now, for us, our curfew, we had a little curfew, and it was at 20 or 21. I think it was at 8, because I was like, holy cow, that's really early. That's crappy. But you had to be back in the compartment. The compartment, if you don't know, it's where you stayed during boot camp. That's where your rack is. It's a big old room where all the racks are. There's the girl house and the guy house. We were in a integrated division, meaning there was male and female. So anyhow, you go back to your compartment at 8. You have curfew. For those that, now I don't know exactly because I didn't go across the street to Great Lakes, but their family was able to bring their laptop and stuff because they don't go back to the compartment. They just go right across the street. I don't know if they had to come back to the compartment and check in, or if they could just go on Liberty and then move into their A school room. A school is literally like right across the street from the boot camp facility, the boot camp base or whatever. It's just, they're right across the street from each other. So those that had A school in Great Lakes could go straight to their A school. They didn't have to come back to the compartment to sleep. I'm not sure if they had to come back to check in, but they didn't have to come back to sleep. Therefore, they were out of boot camp, and they could bring their cell phone and their laptop and stuff into A school. Now, and so that weekend, like, the family could stay there the whole weekend, because when you get into A school, I'm not sure if their day was taken up on Saturday to have like an in-doc or a brief or whatever, but they did have a lot more liberty with their family because they just went across the street for their A school. Now, people like me that had to fly out to their A school, I flew out to Pensacola. Other people flew out to Mississippi or Texas, or I don't even know. I could be making all those places up, but I don't know about other A schools. I only know about mine. So what happened with us was we had Liberty all day. Right after graduation, we had to go back to the compartment, get our Liberty card, and then we could go out with our families and eat and visit, spend time, blah, blah, blah. But we had to be back to the compartment at 8 or 9 p.m. I don't remember what. But we were not allowed to have our families bring our cell phones and laptops and clothes, because you go back to the compartment that night and you sleep, and you're technically still in a boot camp, you're still there. So all that stuff is still contraband. So no, you weren't allowed to have your family bring you things that night. Now, some people snuck their cell phones in. I may or may not have been one of them. And brought them anyhow, even though the reception doesn't work in the compartment anyway. So I'm told. I don't know from personal experience. But the times that you have to get ready to fly out are really dumb times. Like, here's what happened to me. This all varies, but this will give you an idea if you're flying out after graduation what it's going to be like. You graduate, you spend your Liberty with your family, you check back in at 8 or 9 p.m., you're there in the compartment, and you basically can just get your rack ready, hygiene if you want to, at least we were allowed to, and make sure the compartment was clean. We had to take all of the sheets and stuff down to the little place down there where all those sheets go, and go to sleep because we had to wake up at like midnight because the bus was coming to get us at 2 a.m. You're briefed completely before graduation even on the travel, like what time you're going to be traveling out, and there's going to be a group of you all going, and there's going to be someone assigned to be in charge of that group of people to muster them at the airport, at the bus, to make sure everyone makes it on time. That's a chore of a job, and I wouldn't want it. So anyway, so at midnight we all got up, got a little bit of sleep, like maybe a couple hours, and took our stuff, waited at the quarterdeck of our building at our little ship. I was in ship 3, and we waited for the bus. So we all mustered, the person in charge of us, the little airman in charge of us, because we were all going to Pensacola, we were all airmen. They called our names, made sure everyone was there. We got on the bus and we went to the airport. So we got to the airport at like 2 a.m. Saturday morning, and I don't think we flew out until, wait, how did that work? Did I stay the night somewhere? We got to the airport at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't fly out until like 19, like for like a long time. We didn't fly out. So we got briefed at the airport when we got there at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and people had their families there because the families met them there. Like those that had to go back to their compartment. I'm running on and not making any sense. I'm sorry, but I'm distracted with my nails. You leave the compartment, you get on a bus, you go to the airport. When you get to the airport, you have to stay there and get briefed by this man that talks a lot. I don't know if he's still there, but your family can meet you there in the airport afterwards. So you can have a little bit more time with them as long as your family's willing to get up at 0:30 and meet you at the airport, which mine did. So they hang out, like you hang out, you have to check your baggage, they have to wait for you to do that. That takes what seems to be for hours. And then at about 6 o'clock in the morning, we were finally able to leave, and he was like, they make it seem like you can't leave the airport, but you can, and you will. They highly advise against it, but everyone with family that I know, they all left. We all left the airport and did our own thing until our flight that evening at like 9 p.m. or something. So that was what happened. So yes, you'll have time to spend with family after graduation. You can go on Liberty. Those that have A school across the street will be able to get their laptops and clothes and stuff from their family because they can just move it right into their A school barracks. But those that fly out like myself, we weren't allowed to get laptops and things or cell phones. Now, if your family wants to meet you at the airport after you've left boot camp and bring your cell phone, they can do that for you, and that's completely legal or whatever. You can have it for your plane ride, but that's what happens on boot camp graduation. Okay? If you have any questions, I may have not elaborated on things because I'm distracted, but just leave a comment question and I'll answer it if you have any more questions about how that works. Okay? Okay, I'll talk to you later. I have to study though. I drive out on Thursday, so I'm going to try to post videos during my trip. Of course I'm going to take videos. I vlog. That's what I do. I take a video of everything. If something's happening, I'm on my phone and I'm videoing it because I love it. And it's like a document. Like I can look back on my life and it's on the internet, exposed to complete strangers, but at least I can, like when I'm 80, God willing I live that long, I can look back and be like, look at that. I remember Norfolk, and I can have like a documented diary. So even if you're not the type to put things on the internet for people to see, I think it's nice to video things, especially since it's so readily available to everyone on their cell phones to have video and picture, because this kind of stuff is really neat. It's for nostalgic purposes, you know? So I'm going to document my road trip from Norfolk all the way across the country to San Diego when I get on the road on Thursday. A lot of prayers for safe travels would be appreciated because that's a long drive to do by yourself that you've never... All I have is Surrey. So maybe I'll get some road maps if Surrey goes down, you know. have some manual backup, old school style paper maps in my glove box. My dad loves maps. Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm not going to be able to answer comments or approve comments. So if you comment on a video while I'm on the road and you don't see your comment show up, it's because it hasn't been approved yet. And I'll get to it. It'll just be busy because I'm driving, right? And yes, okay, that's another question. Why do you have your comments on pending approval? Because I get a lot of people calling me a terrorist for being in the military, and it starts fights amongst people that know me. Like, a lot of you know me, you're my friend, and you get it, right? And so a lot of you defend me from these strangers that just kind of catch my that see my channel and don't really know who I am. They just spat off and call me a terrorist. So then a fight starts in the comments about people that know me and they're defending me and they're my friends and they're being nice, and then the people that are just trolls, and then my comments look disgusting and angry, and I don't like that. So in order to stop it, nip it in the bud, I just put comments on pending approval, and someone that is just being a complete troll, I'll just delete the comment to avoid all of that, okay? Because I know that they're just being an asshole. Okay. I'll talk to you later. Maybe I'll paint these puppies.